Now, how was the economy and trade during this period? Okay, how was the economy and trade during this period? So, when we see that after the demisal of the king Ashoka, okay, once the Mauryan Empire becomes weaker, okay, so you will see that there is a political fragmentation. Now, whenever there is a division, whenever there is a fragmentation, political, economical, whatever kind of, okay, it is due to the major factor, that is the economy or the state, financial state of that particular country or that particular kingdom. Okay, so here you will find that the port development would be taking place. Why? Because if they are fragmented polity, they would be concentrating upon their own individual growth, and that is why the port development would be taking place during this time. Okay, after that, the here the Sopara Bharuch, okay, it was linked with the Romans, the same Gujarat port, okay, was linked with the Romans. Okay, Southeast Asia and the Mediterranean region had the trading ties with the post-Mauryan people, or especially with respect to Satavahanas. Okay, now after this, lead, copper, silver and portion coins were being used. Now if you see this coin, see this coin, see the emperor on this coin. Okay, it is not an Indian emperor, it is Roman Empire, and through these coins we come to know about with whom we were trading during that time. Okay, so now see this inscription, so see this coin. Okay, now these are gods in the Southeast Asian nations. Okay, these are the gods of Southeast Asian nation. So from these coins we come to know that we had a trading ties, strong trading ties with the Southeast Asian nations. Okay, now these were some of the seals, okay, which were again used as an identity for the trading purpose. Okay, once you present this identity at the port, you are allowed to export your goods to the foreign people. Okay, so this coins or these cards were now these cards were not the paper cards. Okay, these were the metal cards used during that time. Okay, and which were the metals that were used? It were lead, copper, silver and portion. Okay, so you would be you would have seen the Indus Valley Civilization ka movie with respect to what we call it as Mohenjo-daro. Okay, so in Mohenjo-daro movie, you would be having seen that once we get into that market, okay, the trading market, you have to show one coin, you have to show that inscription, that card, metal card, okay, and then only you can enter the main market. So here these coins were these cards were those metal cards which gave us information about the trades that we were having with the n number of countries. Okay, after that we also find the iron ore minings. Okay, iron ore minings which were created at the Karimnagar and the Warangal. Okay, now beyond this, if you again revisit our previous discussion, okay, revisit our previous discussion that the peasants and the farmers, when they were not able to pay the taxes, they went to the jungles and they got adaptable to the new religions like Buddhism and Jainism. Right now, this was the time when the kings, okay, were told by the authors or the literature, through the literature, that you need to focus upon the growth of a common man. You should not tax them heavily, because as the poverty was growing, kings were imposing higher taxes on the common man or the farmers or the peasants, and that is why you will see that the farmers and the peasants were moving out from their kingdom towards the jungles. Okay, so that is why you will see that to address this challenge, so during the Satavahana period, you will see the irrigation facilities emerged. Okay, irrigation facilities like lakes, okay, which I have explained you. The lakes were created so that they could stand in the drought like situation also. After that, they also switched to the paddy cultivation. Now what is paddy cultivation? if you remember the rice cultivation, okay, small plants are being grown first, okay, and then they are replaced in the original farm. Now why this is done? To have more productivity. Now how does the productivity increases? Through the paddy cultivation, because if you see during the ancient times the farming was carried out by the plow, wooden plow, okay. Now during the post-Mauryan period you will see that this farming which was carried out by the wooden plow, it would be carried out by the iron plow, okay. Now how is iron plow? Now suppose this is the main head, and in this way it was the iron plow. Now this would be having the strong pins, iron pins, okay, which would be digging ground, okay. They would be digging ground very effectively, okay, and more deeply, so that the soil would be more irrigated, the soil would be more aerated, and that is why the plant would grow faster, the plant would have more production, okay. A single plant would be having more yield, okay, and that is why you will see that the irrigation facilities included the paddy cultivation. Now what happens during the Mauryan period? Up till the Mauryan period you will see that when you would be having a particular cultivation, or when you are sowing any particular seed, let's take an example, you sowed 100 seeds, okay. Let's suppose you sowed 100 seeds, and from that 100 seeds 15 seeds get failed and 85 seeds grew up, and from this 85 in their whole lifetime just 50 of the seeds or the 50 plants would be having a good kind of production. So the loss ratio would be 50-50, okay. So to avoid such losses, to avoid such loss production, okay, so they turn towards the paddy cultivation. That is, they will first plant the small crops at one place in a very good condition, and once they become more stronger to sustain the environmental condition, they would be placed in the farms, okay. So that is why they carried out the paddy cultivation, to have more production, okay. So here during the Satavahanas you will see that the farming policies were being implemented by the Satavahanas, okay, and that is why you will see that the tradings began to increase again, okay. After that, if you will see the rock cut architecture, okay. Now here I have told you that during Satavahanas we had followed the Brahmanism also and Buddhism also. So here see the rock cut architecture, okay. See the way they are having their architecture, see the designs, okay. Now these are some of the impacts of the Roman people, okay. After that, see the eyes, see the hairs of the Buddha, okay. After this, see this temple, okay. See this temple. Now this is a single stone from which the temple is being carved out, and this temple also has the boundary wall, okay. So this is evident architecture. Now this is also known as Kharavela architecture. Kharavela architecture. Now this Kharavela architecture evolved in the Kalinga state, and it spreaded, okay, in the central and the Deccan part of the country, okay. Now beyond this rock cut architecture was used for the as the Chaityas and the Viharas. Viharas means where the people stay or where the monasteries are being built, and the Chaityas are the point of contact for this Buddhist people to preach their ideas, okay, and that is why they are called as Chaityas, okay. The Chaitanya, where we get the fresh air, okay. So here the ideas were being preached in the Chaityas. They were also termed as the Buddhist temples, okay. Now the Karli Chaitya is one of the largest Buddhist cave which was being constructed during the Satavahana, okay. So majorly the Buddhism and the Brahmanism was being followed. Now after that, the one of the major region or the territory, that is Odisha territory, or that time ka Kalinga territory, Okay, now the Kalinga war was quite evident and significant during the Ashokan period. Okay, Ashoka majorly concentrated upon this Kalinga region. Why? Because he needed to grow the trading connections with the eastern world, and that is why you will see that this Kalinga region got prominence. This Kalinga region got the value. Okay, so here the Kalinga region was being established, Mahameghavahana. Okay, Mahameghavahana. Now, what is mean by the Maha means the one of the largest king, and Meghavahana means one of the largest cloud. Okay, so this king was termed as Mahameghavahana. Okay, he was in the short, this dynasty was also termed as a Chedi dynasty. Okay, and the next king was the Kharavela king. Okay, and that is why the architecture which was developed during his reign is known as the Kharavela architecture. Right now, here in Kalinga dynasty, you need to access two major rulers. First is Mahameghavahana, and the second is the Kharavela. Now, the Kharavela, during the Kharavela, we would be seeing the development of art and architecture. And during the Mahameghavahana, we would be seeing the political development. Okay, so he would be defeating Satavahanas. Okay, he would be expelling the Greeks, invading the Magadha also. Okay, and he would be building, see, he had expelled the Greeks also here. From here, he had also conquered the Magadha, and he is also moving downwards. Okay, up till the tip of South India. Okay, why? Because he needed to conquer the whole eastern coast, so that he would be staying strong for the trading ties with the Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, and every sort of the Southeast Asian country. Okay, so here you will see that most of the art and artifacts would be found in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Sumatra, and Java. And that is why you will see that we are having good cultural connection, or the ancient cultural connection, with all these countries. Okay, whenever you see in the newspaper or in the news, whenever our Mr. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits all these countries, he would be talking about the soft connection, or the soft international relations, or the soft power. Okay, so here what is it? It is the cultural ties, cultural connections of India with all these countries since the ancient times, since the Kalinga times. Okay, now this would be again enhanced during the Chola period, during the Sangam age. Okay, so again, see, this is a rock cut architecture which was during the Kalinga. Okay, now these are some of the facts, evidence that we get at the present time. See, this is the stone of the pillar. Okay, the base stone of the pillar. Now this was also constructed. Now this was constructed separately, and upon this one single monolithic pillar was being situated. Okay, after that, see this sculptures. Okay, which are carved on the single rock. It depicts the social life. It depicts the political and the kingdom wala life also. Okay, so here these are some of the evident fact of the Kharavela dynasty, or the Kalinga dynasty. Okay, so the Jainism revived here on the greater stage, because if you see the Mauryan, according to the geography, okay, if you see here it is Magad. Okay, and here the Mauryans had flourished, and the Mauryans were one of the major followers of Jainism, right? So here you will see that the Mauryans, or the people from the Mauryan Empire, would be migrating to this region, and that is why you will see that in the Kalinga also, in the Kalinga state also, you will see that major patronage is with respect to Jainism. Okay, and this is being evident in the Hathi Gumfa inscription, okay, which is found at Udaigiri caves or hills in the Bhuvaneshwar, in the present day Bhuvaneshwar. Okay, so this Hathi Gumfa cave was being asked as one of the fact in UPSC preliminary examination. Okay, so it was being constructed during the Kalinga period, or especially during the Chedi dynasty. Okay, It is also termed as the Kharavela architecture. Fine. So in the next lecture, we would be talking about the social and the land system during the post-Mauryan period. Okay, how it got changed and how it putted the basic pillar for the emergence of the Gupta period. Okay, thank you.